use a word is circular economy. And this word is very hot in China. So when we just persuade the government about the industrial symbiosis, they often think, okay, if we do this, it's sort of like, like the image of the government, and we do some of the green things. But I think the most difficulty for us is to build the bridge between the government and the business.
Things like, saying we should have industrial symbiosis as part of the research planning. We should have it in policy statements that says, when you're looking at sustainability, you should look at the symbiotic relationships between different projects.
If all of them cooperate together and they know how important the waste generated from one company, and this kind of things can be used as the raw materials to the other company, and it can not only reduce a lot of environmental impact, but also increase the efficiency of the materials, and can help the regional sustainable development. So at this level, I think the government can understand this conception quite well. They know how to, persuade more and more companies involved in this network.
On the manufacturing side, there's a lot more that can be done and should be done in terms of symbiosis. It's in order for manufacturing in general to grasp it, there needs to be a cost driver. Otherwise, why do it?
The government should know how important investment is, because they need to have the very faster growth of their economy or their GDP, but also the joint ventures, because they have the high environmental awareness. So they should lead the local companies to know how important the environmental protection is, so they can set up the image to some of the local SMEs. I think that is a very good thing.
The most interesting possibility is that somebody in government will take notice of the resolutions that come out of the conference and will think about acting on them.
There's always hidden costs in waste. You need to look up what those hidden costs are and then turn that into an opportunity for your business to either reduce your costs and make money. It's the same with the CO2 reduction programme. What are you paying for energy? What can you invest in which would reduce that cost to you as a business? And there's lots of other environmental aspects that you can consider once you've begun that journey.
We are in a very, very serious economic crisis at the moment. This is not a normal recession. This is an epochal shift in global wealth. We won't come out of this the same country as we went in, and we have to reinvent our economies. And one of the ways to do that is the green economy in terms of services, new products and new technologies that will be in demand globally could help rejuvenate our economy. So pay attention to that global agenda and we could pull ourselves out of this economic recession quicker.
And starting out a worldwide practitioner community, I think that's very important so we can all learn off each other. I think the second major outcome was compiling an evidence base from all across the world that this approach can do what it says on the tin.
Who does what when, or who does what next? This is really the follow-up to take away from the conference practical suggestions for action so that all of us can go back to our offices or our factory floors or whatever and start to apply some of the things that have been learned here.
I come away from events like this, which are thinking events, always with a few new ideas up my sleeve.
So I decided that I could take all those results and try to come here to see how things are going in order for me to bring back to Mexico some ideas so we can establish the project again and keep it going.
So it's a question of awareness as well. If the government is able to embrace effective awareness, like it was said during the finals talk, communication is important. Communication, communication, communication.
First of all, it's a privilege to be involved with something that feeds into Rio Plus 20. That's an amazing achievement for a little old group of disparate organisations and businesses in the Telford area to be able to have an input into that.
There's a big emphasis in Rio Plus 20 on green growth, and that will carry forward to something called the Global Green Growth Forum, which is being held in Denmark in October. And behind that are governments of the world, such as Mexico, Korea and Denmark. And international synergies have been invited to that Global Green Growth Forum in October, which gives us another global platform to get out our message. Gathering people from all over the world has made me even more convinced than ever that we do have something here. It's something we can do now, immediately. We don't require international agreements to do this, and we can start tomorrow.
Industrial symbiosis is one of the most promising and innovative ways of making our resource use sustainable, and in doing so, generating wide economic, social, and environmental benefits.